Now, I have a book that I want to tell you about that I don't have with me because I gave it away. Actually, I gave it to my wife. She says she doesn't understand me sometimes, so I sit here and read this. It's called Reflections, okay? And it's a book that gives us to realize that whatever issues we have today, good or bad, but for really the bad ones that we really want to deal with, right? Because we don't have any issue with the good things about us. Is why are we doing these things? Why do we do self-destructive things? Why do I feel inferior? Why do I clam up when people come around? Why can't I be the person that I want to be? And what I want to suggest today is that everything that we are today, you can trace back in your life, okay? And most of our issues, many of our issues are from childhood, okay? And so what I've done is I've sort of taken each chapter as a piece of my life from the eyes of a child when I was a child, and how it affected me, you know, later in life. So I started off, I was born in Los Angeles, California, moved to Europe, lived there for like 4.5 to 5 years. Moved from there to Kansas, Junction City, Kansas, while my father was in Vietnam. Moved from there to Bangor, Maine, and moved from Maine to Ohio. I was a military kid, okay? And just, you know, highlighting the situations of my life. You know, one thing very interesting, when I think we came to Ohio, I was a young kid, and my father was an E9, which was the top enlisted rank, so he had a bunch of stripes on his arm. And he took me to my class. And the one, looking back, I'm glad I was a military kid because of the experiences, the relationships, the so many different types of people that you've just embraced because these are your friends. But one of the negatives, I think, was that wherever we had moved, the military didn't wait until the school year was over. So we were always moving in the middle of the school year. And that means whenever I got to school, all the friends had already been made. Plus some of the necessary stuff, like in math, had already been passed, and I'm getting there late trying to catch up and figure what's going on. But I remember one time my father brought me to class, and they had him bring me to the actual classroom, and the teacher had us standing in front of the whole class introducing me, and I was like a shy kid. And all of a sudden I just panicked, and I just turned around and just started sharpening one of the pencils I had in my hand. And my father gently but firmly grabbed me by my shoulder and turned me around. And when he turned me around, the container of the pencil sharpener came off, hit the floor. All these pencil sharpener shavings went all over the place. That was my first day in school. You know that had some kind of effect. Everything has an effect. And you know, so this is a book of those type situations throughout my life, positive and negative, made me who I am today. And as you begin to examine those, and I have like questions at the end of those, you know, for whoever's reading, do you have experiences like this? Well, how do you think? And that kind of stuff, and it will help find healing. It's called Reflections, okay?